Doping isn't exactly a new practice in athletics. The first known case is from year 1889. Dr. Brown-Sequard couldn't know that he'll start a doping craze by injecting himself with an ordinary mixture of his own blood, semen, and juice extracted from a testicle crushed immediately after it has been taken from a dog or a guinea pig. He has noted, however, that said injection made him feel at least 30 years younger. The effect quickly wore off though. Modern scientists are convinced that it was all due to a placebo effect and it wasn't really a high-octane drug. Nevertheless, the first step on the road to hardcore doping has been made. A little bit later, in year 1935, the male hormone testosterone was finally discovered and isolated. Immediately after first experiments, it became obvious that it can bolster one's strength and ability to withstand physical exertion. The first athlete to juice up was an 18-year-old gelding named Holloway, who, after testosterone injection, managed to win a harness race. Anabolic doping, however, was first used not by horses, but by Soviet weightlifters, who during the Olympic Games in Helsinki secured 7 medals, 3 gold, 3 silver and 1 bronze. That time they did lose to dirty Americans, who went home with 4 gold medals, but in 1953 World Weightlifting Championships, the Communists were triumphant. The Americans quickly picked up on the Soviets' secret locker room activities and developed their own doping methods using anabolic steroids. Athletes were doping virtually scot-free until late 70s, even though such enhancements were officially illegal. The crown of the most brazen juicer goes to American weightlifter Ken Patera. His super heavyweight arch-rival from the other side of the Iron Curtain was Vasily Alexeyev. The Soviet was breaking a record after record, and between 1970 and 1977 he did it 80 times, which is almost once every month. A year before the tragic Munich Olympic Games, Ken Patera casually told the Los Angeles Times, "Last year, the only difference between me and him was that I couldn't afford his drug bill. Now I can. When I hit Munich next year, I'll weigh in at about 340, maybe 350 pounds. Then we'll see which are better, his steroids or mine." The real pushback against the doping craze began slightly earlier, in late 60s, when it became all too apparent that juicing can kill. It had started during Rome Olympic Games after a Danish cyclist collapsed mid-race and hit the asphalt head first. He died the same day. Doctors found amphetamine in his system, administered by his trainer just before the race, but pointed to overheating and dehydration as the real cause of the accident. In many countries, socialist republics or not, advanced research on doping was being carried out. The most terrifying happened in East Germany, where the government was using athletics to spread anti-capitalist propaganda. Athletes there were starting to dope early, even as children, albeit without any knowledge of what it is they were doing. Their trainers even told them to never ever tell their parents about those little blue pills they were taking. What they actually were was oral turinabol, which has a devastating effect on the body, especially on women, as it causes masculinization. When in 1976 foreign journalists were asking the coach of East Germany women's swimming team why the athletes are all speaking with such low voices, he replied, "We came here to swim, not to sing." The first big sporting event where new methods of steroid detections were used were 1983 Pan American Games, when 19 athletes were caught dead to rights. Many others, afraid that they would also be exposed, withdrew from the competition altogether.